welcome back to Talk Tuesday.
Going up on the Tuesday.
So for today's video, I thought it'd be kind of interesting to follow up in the same theme of my previous video, which was about mermaids. And many of you were commenting that you wish I talked about the ocean a little more, the unexplored ocean. Sorry, Bernie is just going a little crazy today. Say hi to your fans. You're famous. Anyway, if you didn't see my last video or didn't know this, we have only explored less than 5% of our oceans. We've barely mapped out any of it. And recently, a bunch of you have sent me an article about a giant sea creature that just washed up on the shore of Indonesia. And I'm gonna tell you guys about that because I know a lot of you probably saw it on the internet, you know, this giant washed up monster. It was definitely getting a little viral, but I'm not sure how many of you followed up with it. So I thought I'd let you know what's going on with that. But before we get started, I wanted to let you guys know that officially my merch is completely, pretty much 100% launched. It's all really cool designs. I really worked hard to make sure that these were really cool designs that you'd actually want to wear and not just gonna have my name or my logo plastered all over it. So I know a lot of you wanted logos, some of you didn't, so I've kind of put them on some designs, but they are very subtle on the designs that they are on. And the best part about it is not only you're gonna get an awesome t-shirt, hoodie, or mug or something like that, you'll also be supporting this channel directly. And him. There are a few more designs that will still be coming out, and I plan to release new and limited edition designs all the time. So it's gonna be a really fun project. I'm really excited about it. I've had a blast working on it, and I hope you guys enjoy it. I'll leave a link to that in the description box. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into our Talk Tuesday topic for today, and that is washed up sea monsters. For real, we're gonna talk about some things that have ended up on the shores of our earth. So like I said, our ocean is so unexplored, and there's been a pretty big debate that I've seen more and more recently on the internet about whether it's smarter to invest our money into space exploration or into ocean exploration. I mean, personally, I wish we could just go full throttle at both of them because they're both so uncharted and so interesting. So much of our own planet is unexplored. 95% of our ocean has been unexplored and unseen by human eyes. Can you even wrap your mind around the idea of how much space that actually is? The ocean covers 70% of Earth's surface, okay? And think of how deep it goes. There are points of it where we definitely don't know how deep it goes. It probably goes way deeper than we can even imagine. And there are some creatures down there. There are some really weird creatures that have been found by marine biologists and researchers over the years. Most recently, I found this one, which really blew my mind. How crazy is that? Like how big it is. And what's really interesting is I was researching a little bit more into the idea of these ocean animals, and is it possible to bring one of them up into like an aquarium to study it? Certain of them you can, but there's a lot of them that are completely acclimated to the pressures, and they would die as they were being brought up out of the ocean because the massive pressure changes. It's so fascinating to me that it's basically a whole nother planet on our own planet that we haven't discovered. Isn't that bizarre? So that's why I think so many people are saying, why are we even investing more into space exploration when we could invest into our own exploration of what's here on our planet right now? And I see both arguments. Honestly, I don't think enough funding is being put into either of these because space exploration is just, it has to happen at this point. We are screwing up our planet more and more and more every day, and we are going to need to start trying to see what options we have available. But I also think that ocean exploration could hold, you know, secrets to so many different things. Imagine if there's an energy source at the bottom of the ocean somewhere that we haven't even accessed. That would change everything. I mean, the possibilities are endless. For all we know, there could be aliens living down there, and some of these ocean creatures straight up look like aliens. So that brings us to the sea monster that has washed up on the shore of Indonesia. And a lot of, you know, pretty much fake news websites have latched onto this story just because it's pretty spectacular. The pictures are real, it's all real, but a lot of the headlines are very deceiving. It has the shock factor, you know? What is this giant thing that has just appeared? And the idea that it is some type of monster is a lot more clickable. So I bet some of you saw the pictures and were wondering what this is. This is video footage that someone took in Indonesia.
Adalah ikan paus yang 28 meter dan ikan ini.
I mean, that thing is huge. It's such a weird shape. A lot of people thought it was a giant squid at first, but it was so big. And what's really crazy is it was just seeping blood. There was blood in all the surrounding areas, but it didn't stop people from going in it and waiting around and, you know, filming this giant sea creature. So this sea creature washed up on the shore of Maluku on the island of Saran. Probably not saying that right, but what else is new? At first the locals thought it was a washed up boat because it was dark out. As the light came up and they got closer to it, they realized that it was definitely some type of animal, and it was 49 feet, so it was really, really big. So like I said, most people thought that this was a giant squid, but that was quickly ruled out because it had bone structure. You can see some kind of a skull and a jaw. But from my research, and of course a lot of those shocking news websites don't report this part of the story, experts like marine biologists and scientists have come out and said that they think that this is a baleen whale. They used to be referred to as whalebone whales, if you've ever heard that, but they are a huge species of whale, and they are actually the largest known species on planet Earth. The main reason that they think that this is a baleen whale is from these grooves that are on the whale. They're called ventral grooves, and they run from their chin all the way to their belly button. It's actually a stretchy tissue that expands when they eat. So they can kind of see these grooves on this sea creature. So that leads them to believe that that's what it is. But I'm sure a lot of you out there are saying, how can that be a whale? It's like, you know, so wide. It's such a weird shape. It's possible that the whale was in some type of physical altercation with another creature, which what is big enough down there that it could attack a baleen whale? Or it could maybe have been hit by a boat. Maybe the propellers kind of tore it up a little bit. And I guess one of the reasons that they think it could be pretty disformed and odd shaped with all these weird bumps is because it's filled with decomposition gas, and it could have bloated this whale up into this very odd shape. They think the whale could have even had a bacterial infection that made the bloating even worse. And this isn't the first time that they've seen this. There was a really odd picture of this animal floating in the ocean. It looks so much like an alien. It looks like an alien brain or something. It's so weird, but they think that that picture is actually a bloated whale. So why don't we see these whales more often? Well, whales definitely, you know, are beached all the time. All types of animals wash up on our shores. We don't often see this large of a whale because they're so heavy that if they die, they most likely would sink and just be a giant buffet for all the fish for years to come. So this isn't the only time that a weird animal has washed up on our shores. You may remember that a little while back there was another strange animal that appeared on the shore of Russia. Super, super weird. It almost looks like a hairy dolphin with a beak, but its, you know, back tail is so different. And I don't know if the picture does it justice. It's really, really big, twice the length of a human. What's really weird about it too is it appears to be hairy, and that has puzzled a lot of marine biologists. When experts looked into it, they believed that it was some type of dolphin, which is so odd because that does not look like the dolphins that I have seen. There are actually about 40 different species of dolphin that we know of in our waters. However, none of them have hair, so that was the really odd thing about this. Some researchers even think that it might have been a prehistoric animal that was frozen in the permafrost and unfroze and washed up on the shores. Really, really crazy thought, because think of how many things are frozen. The areas that used to not be frozen now were once a completely different climate. There could be all types of creatures and humans frozen underneath layers and layers of ice. Some scientists believe that the fur on the dolphin, which was the main part that no one can really understand, might actually just be very decayed tissue. There are some researchers that are pretty convinced that this was a giant beaked whale, which was an animal that was around a long time ago. There was also a very strange creature that ended up on the shore of the Philippines, actually specifically on the Dinagat Islands. This was about 15 feet, so not as big as the one that was recently found in Indonesia, but it was still very, very odd. People believe that this animal was washed up because of an earthquake that had just happened there, because the earthquake actually caused a lot of kind of unusual and strange creatures to wash up onto the shore. This thing looks hairy, it looks disgusting. It definitely was in its like decaying process. It had been dead for a while when it was found. It kind of looks a lot like Cousin It, I must say. And a lot of people think that it is Appa, which is a fictional character from Avatar: The Last Airbender on Nickelodeon. It actually looks pretty similar to something that washed up on the shore of South Africa Africa in 1924. This thing was believed to be half whale, half polar bear, and they called it globster, which globster has, I guess, become a name. I haven't heard it before, but a name used to describe odd animals and creatures that have just washed up on the shore. So again, the hairy looking appearance could be some type of decomposition, just, you know, decaying tissue, but it is pretty odd. And I just want to know what you guys think about these creatures, because honestly, there definitely isn't much information or confirmation about what these animals are. A lot of it is speculation. There's not a lot of follow-up articles, so it leaves me kind of thinking like maybe they don't know what it is. Maybe we're being told so that we don't worry about it, but maybe, I mean, it is possible, and some people will not agree with me here on this, but I just think it's so odd that some of these creatures are so unexplainable. So I want to know what you guys think of these animals that have washed up. There are tons of examples of animals that have washed up on the ocean shores all over. I obviously can't talk about them all, but if you have any good ones, share them below. Pretty interesting stuff. Which one did you think was the weirdest? I definitely want to know that. And our question for today, and I really want to know, do you guys think that we should invest more money into exploring our own ocean or more money into exploring space, and why? So hit me with your answers for that. But that's it for me today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to subscribe if you're not already. I upload new videos on Tuesday and Thursday, with sometimes a surprise video on Sundays. And that's it for me today, guys. I hope you're having a great day, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.